Bell as Black Canary. The film's directed by Kathy Yan. So, Eddie, we both have very different points of view on this film. What did you think?
This trailer was amazing. This trailer was amazing. It reminded me a lot of the original Suicide Squad trailers, which made me so excited to see the film. It even made me buy into Jared Leto playing the Joker, which I'll go out on a limb and say that I thought he did a slightly above average job. But yes, this trailer is everything I wanted in a Harley Quinn movie. It's colorful, it looks fun, it looks dangerous. That wasn't really a good word I was thinking of. But it looks colorful, it looks fun. Margot Robbie did an amazing job as Harley Quinn. She's probably one of the only shining lights in the Suicide trailer. I mean, in the Suicide Squad. Any thoughts from you?
So I'm in the exact opposite boat. This feels almost exactly like the Suicide Squad. Oh my God, the Suicide Squad trailer, like you were saying. It feels like we're trying to be tricked again into thinking that this is going to be a fun movie with a lot of personality and cool things happening in it. When in reality, it's going to probably be something that's really boring, just nothing to it. It's just a nothing boring film that DC's trying to push, and it's going to make $10 billion, and that nobody will care in like 10 years that this film came out.
Like if their job was to trick me and then a job well done, I am tricked. I will not be there first week, but maybe second.
I mean, I can completely understand why people would be excited by this trailer. Like, admittedly, it's a good-looking trailer. I just don't trust DC to get a movie like this right. Even though they came out with a really good one this weekend, like, they've had way too many failures in the past for me to think this is going to be a really good movie that I want to see.
Well, my fingers are crossed.
No, I hope I'm pleasantly surprised. I kind of want DC to have like another win for once, like to them actually get on track and do something right. But it just doesn't seem like it's in the stars or whatever the phrase is for this. In addition to that, another trailer that dropped this week was 1917, and I actually had the exact opposite view on this one. So, the film's directed by Sam Mendes, who also directed Skyfall, and is about two messengers in World War I trying to get a message to Allied troops, ordering them to stop an attack that would end in slaughter. Earlier this week, there was also a behind-the-scenes featurette that dropped online. In the video, Sam Mendes reveals that the film is a one-shot movie. In other words, from beginning to end, it appears there are no cuts, and everything is done in real time. We should preface this by saying that there are actually cuts in the movie. They're just very well hidden, which has its own challenges and is hard in its own way, but definitely not as hard as doing the film in one whole shot. Eddie, what did you think of the trailer?
What did I think of the trailer? It looks fun. Maybe that's not what I should be using for a war movie, but it looks intense, although I'm not the biggest fan of the whole let's make it look like one shot thing, especially when it comes to war. I feel like maybe in a shorter film that it could work, but after a while, I feel like it just may wear out its presence. I felt that Birdman did it very well. Even the Hitchcock film Rope did it pretty well.
Yeah.
But those were sort of things that lent itself to the whole one-shot premise, as opposed to this, where I feel like it may benefit from a close-up, or it may benefit from different shots that they may not be able to accomplish by trying to keep up with this whole one-take idea.
See, I think for me at least, I think it'll do really well in a war setting, which first off, very difficult thing to do, but I think it'll work because it's building suspense throughout the whole movie. Like, it's kind of like in Birdman, how like, I heard some people were getting nervous watching the movie because like, it just never cut, and you were like, oh my God, it's still going. We're still doing this, huh? It's still going. Oh my God, how are they not screwing up? It's kind of going to be like that, where like people are just watching the movie being like, oh my God, the war's still happening. How are they still alive? Are these guys going to make it? Oh my God, we're still doing this, huh? And for me, I think that's going to work really well, because I think it's technically challenging, and the filmmaker in me is like, wow, I wish I could try and do that, because that seems absolutely amazing. Like the end goal of this is going to be very interesting for me to see. Because I'm kind of interested to see how they hide the cuts and all that. Like, what kind of tricks are they going to use to like make it so that way it seems like it's one whole shot, when in reality it's many cuts.
Well, I'm the exact opposite of you. I would rather swallow a cup of glass than try to recreate anything like this.
Oh no, I'm not saying I would ever do this in a million years. This seems like a nightmare to film.
Yes, but I definitely do trust Sam Mendes to pull it off. He's definitely one of the more underrated directors, I think, even though he's made Skyfall and American Beauty and all these other great movies. I don't feel like he necessarily gets the credit that he deserves. And the cast looks amazing, so I definitely feel like there is a chance that this will be at least decent.
Yeah, no, definitely a star-studded cast. So I am very excited to see where this goes. It definitely has like that like Hollywood like. It definitely has that blockbuster power.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Drop that baby.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Speaking of blockbusters, one of a very well-known film director had some interesting comments about some of our blockbusters recently.
Yes, he did. Good old Marty boy is back in our headlines with another controversial take. This week, his target is our Marvel films. Empire magazine asked his opinions on these Marvel films, to which he responded, honestly, the closest I can think of them, as well made as they are, with actors doing the best that they can under these circumstances, is theme parks. It isn't the cinema of human beings trying to convey emotional, psychological experience to another human being. A lot of filmmakers and actors involved in the MCU and DCU took an exception to these comments. Most notably, James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad reboot. I guess it's considered a reboot. In response, Gunn had to say, I was outraged when people picketed The Last Temptation of Christ without having seen the film. I'm saddened that he's now judging my films in the same way. He then added, that said, I will always love Scorsese and be grateful for his contributions to cinema and can't wait to see The Irishman.
Okay, so I get where he's coming from here. I'm not like the biggest fan of MCU or DCEU movies. Superhero movies just don't do it for me nowadays. Like it just seemed like literally. I think it was in August of this year that I finally saw both Endgame and Infinity War in the same day. And I mean, I liked them.
In the same day?
Yeah, I watched them back to back because I was interested. I mean, I liked them. They were good movies, but it's not like it was like I really wouldn't go out of my way to watch these in theaters. At that same time, they're really well-made movies, and they deserve some kind of praise or review, especially from like someone who's like such a, oh my god, what is the word for it? Like a pillar of the film community. Like they're not bad movies. They definitely are. They're trying to say something, and they're trying to deliver a message while also being these entertaining vehicles of explosions, fighting, fun dialogue, and all that good stuff.
It's just so much to juggle, and for somebody like Scorsese to say that, it does sort of. It would definitely at least hurt my feelings, at the very least, knowing that, he's sort of like the not the grandfather. He's not that old. Well, he is pretty old. He is this pillar of the film community, and to hear him say this, it would strike a nerve with me, especially as somebody who grew up loving his films. To see that he considers the things I put blood, sweat, and tears into to be a carnival ride would really sting.
Yeah.
And I would feel that he would be a little more sensitive to it, considering that he made a Netflix film, as Netflix films and movies of his kind are still fighting for, their reputation as real cinema.
Yeah, like I think we mentioned this last week, the Cannes Film Festival not accepting any Netflix or even streaming platform movies. They're not doing that. And it's like, it feels like all these old men who are like trying to distinguish between this is what high art and this is what garbage is, but they don't know what they're talking about because like they're too stuck in their ways to actually see that. Oh yeah, there's good things coming out of these films. Like these streaming platforms are doing a good job making movies, and Marvel can actually make something that's not a pile of garbage or an amusement park ride or something like that. So I think it's just people who need to really just reevaluate like what they think of as film, because it's changing and it's evolving to fit a more modern kind of viewpoint.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up 1 finger if you're a man, women 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom.
It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
All right, so anything else?
Nothing on that movie. However, there are some upcoming movies we actually wanted to talk about. So this weekend, there are a few new films coming out. We got Gemini Man, The Addams Family, and Jexy. So Eddie, are you excited for any of these movies?
Are you sure there's nothing else coming out besides these 3?
Eddie, what's coming out this weekend?
Oh, God. If I had to pick one, you know what? I will go out on a limb here and say that I am not looking forward to the Addams Family movie, but I do think that it will be decent.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about this overall. It's like the Addams Family movie is like, it seems okay. I think if you were to bring if you were a family and you bring your kids to see the Addams Family movie, it's not like it's the Emoji Movie or anything like that. Like, you're gonna get something out of it. It won't be complete garbage fire. That said, I'm not really looking forward to seeing it. Like, it doesn't seem good enough for me to go out of my way to actually watch it.
I think I'll be staying home this weekend.
Yeah. Besides Joker, I mean, there's not much happening. Gemini Man, I mean, I don't trust Will Smith at all. He doesn't know how to make a movie anymore.
I'm starting to lose trust in Ang Lee as well, which is very sad.
Yeah. Well, on that note, that's all we got for you guys this week. Thank you for coming to our basement again. I'm Brandon Gasparino.
And I'm Edward Webb.
And we hope you guys have a great week.
STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. you a tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. STN, let me give you a tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. you a tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. Hi, welcome to STN. Let me give you a tour of the studio. STN, let me give you a tour of the studio.
Thank you for tuning in to STN Channel 2 News. I'm Marceline DeAngelis.
And I'm Chad Charette.
The College of Education, Nursing, and Health Professions is set to be an exhibitor at the Hartford Marathon at Bushnell Park in downtown Hartford this Saturday. ENHP will have a tent set up at the finish line from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. This tent will include students and faculty from ENHP promoting marathon recovery and giving out handouts that contain important health information. The tent will also have a raffle giving people a chance to win a $50 gift card to South Runner in Glastonbury.
University of Hartford student-run magazine, Airy, is encouraging students to submit their work to be published. Students are able to submit any type of work, whether it be stories, poems, paintings, or photographs. The deadline for text submissions is October 21st, and the deadline for art and visual pieces is November 20th. To submit your work, visit airyjournal.com and click on Submit Your Work tab. If you have submission questions, contact Brianna Rivera at brivera@hartford.edu.
This upcoming Thursday, there will be a bonfire and pumpkin painting at 8:30 p.m. in Kayla with free s'mores and hot chocolate. Along with the bonfire, there will be a hunt to find a golden ticket. Students must complete all 3 steps of the hunt, which include introducing yourself to a public safety officer at the bonfire or first flight, ask the officer to share a fun fact, and then post a selfie with the officer and your ticket on the Live Safe app. There will be 2 golden tickets hidden, and the first student to find one will win a free parking pass.
September has come to a close, and that means it's almost time for Hawktober. We caught up with the president of SGA to learn more about the upcoming celebration.
So this is something that's kind of new. It's only been, I think, 5 or 6 years at this point. And we just try and schedule events every day during the week where we can get students hyped for the events coming up for the weekend, getting their parents here, alumni coming back, and things like that.
SGA will kick off Hawktober next Sunday with its brand new Study Break event.
Right in front of the library, where we'll be giving out hot chocolate, coffee, snacks, and just little things to get you through the Sunday night study session that you'll probably be doing.
there will be a unique event held every evening from Monday through Friday. With a comedy show, baking contest, pumpkin painting, and even a bonfire, there's a little something for everyone.
So they have entire front section of K-Lot next to the art school with pallets, and they just light it on fire, and it's a 10-foot tall fire.
UHart will head straight into Hawktober weekend with the first flight, a massive pep rally celebrating the athletic teams and clubs around campus.
So doors open at 8 o'clock. The event starts at 8:30. We have Steppas, Phenomenon, DJ, pep band. So it's going to be a really cool event.
Early arrivals to first flight will receive t-shirts, sunglasses, beach balls, and other Hawktober merchandise entirely for free.
One big event that they have Saturday night, I believe, is fireworks. So they will light fireworks from GSU lawn, and you're able to view them from really anywhere on campus.
If you'd like extra details on any of the upcoming events, make sure to stop by the Hawktober Week page on the UHart website.
October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and ITS is spreading awareness to students. STN has more in the story. Cybersecurity Awareness Month started with a coalition of several federal organizations to push cybersecurity.
Yeah, National Cybersecurity Awareness Month is a national campaign to bring cybersecurity awareness and kind of just remind everyone, at least for 1 month out of the year, of the importance of protecting our digital assets. And as so much more of our life becomes intertwined with our mobile devices.
This month is an impact to students' lives to keep their digital world safe and be aware of password security, mobile app security, phishing attempts, and scams.
If you take a moment to just look at the security settings on your social media presence, and then even just a conversation maybe at lunch with your friends about, oh, I noticed this has changed in Facebook, which actually happens quite often. And spreading the word that way benefits all of us.
Not much has changed with cybersecurity from prior years. However, there is a greater focus on mobile devices since the usage of them has increased over the years. ITS will be posting numerous articles on UNotes throughout the month stating how students could get involved. Coming up after the break, student athletes can be expecting some checks off the court.
Next, a woman saves her mother from a devastating animal attack.
Furthermore, Farmington firefighters fight off foam. And after the break, we have our very own Rebecca Chen giving us the weather for the upcoming week.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television. You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles. What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew she was special.
What if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. Why would you do that?
Probably okay isn't okay. Call a cab, a car, or a friend.
Good choice.
We're bringing you the news as it happens on STN Channel 2.
Hello there, I'm Rebecca Chen, and welcome to Weather. We're finally starting to feel some of that autumn chilliness here at UHart, so let's see how it looked outside earlier today. And it was super windy like the rest of the week, not really any sun, just a lot of clouds. leaves aren't changing yet. They're still quite green. There's a lot of rain this past week, and that continued on earlier today, so I see a lot of people dressed up warmly. I see one person in shorts, but that's okay. Let's waddle on over to the maps. And tonight, it's going to be a low of 50 at the university, so not too cold, but with the amount of wind that's going on, I would suggest wearing a decently heavy jacket. And let's see what tomorrow's going to have in store for us. Oh, it's okay. It's pretty warm, 61 at university. It goes up to the low 50s up north, but down south it goes all the way down to the 70s, so not too bad, not too bad. Let's see what the night is going to be like. Actually, a little bit colder than tonight is going to be, so I would suggest, again, just trying to dress up for the early morning or the nighttime if you're going to be out and about. And let's see what Sunday is going to look like. Again, pretty warm during the day. It goes up to 62 up all the way up north and almost 70 down south. And as always, Connecticut, we always lie somewhere in the middle. But let's see what the night is going to look like. Down to 41, that's pretty cold. So I would suggest just wrapping up medium to a slightly heavy jacket and maybe a scarf, because that does not look like it's going to be fun. Let's hop on over to the 7-day. As I mentioned earlier, tonight there's going to be a little precipitation. The rest of the week looks decently consistent, though, as we saw on our maps earlier. On Monday, it goes all the way to 70 degrees here in Connecticut, so that's not too bad. It's pretty warm.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of cloudy days, though, it looks like, but at least we have still some high 60s, which is pretty good for fall, although those lows are pretty low.
Yeah,
so,
especially when the sun's not out, it feels a lot colder than it should be.
Yeah.
Looks a little less rainy than it was last week, though, so that's good.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah, hopefully it's at least nice we go pumpkin picking and get all that fall stuff.
Hopefully not too muddy.
Yes. Thank you, Becca.
No problem, Marceline.
5th District Representative Senator Derek Slapp says it's time to allow college students to make money off their abilities. The NCAA currently prohibits college athletes from making money while playing on a school team, and such changes should be made at a national level. Slapp states that, quote, they generate $14 billion of economic activity across the country and are entitled to not one penny of it, end quote. Slapp says he's hopeful that this legislation can come up beginning early next year.
And a Connecticut ban is being placed against food packaging containing PFAS. Congresswoman Rose DeLauro was leading the charge on this ban and is claiming that the chemical has large consequences for health. PFAS is the same chemical that caused issues in the river by Bradley Airport last week from firefighter foam. Health officials have said that the human body and the environment is unable to break down these chemicals, and therefore they should be avoided.
A raccoon attacked an 84-year-old woman in Hamden this past Monday. Police said the victim's daughter told them a raccoon bit her mother, and she had to fight the animal off with a hammer to prevent further injury. The woman was taken to Yale New Haven Hospital for medical treatment. Hamden police and animal control officers searched this area, but did not find the raccoon. The Hamden Police and Animal Control Division advised people not to feed raccoons and to keep garbage secure.
A health advisory was issued after firefighting foam entered a brook and pond connected to the Farmington River. The foam and other materials were released into the environment due to the October 2nd B-17 crash at Bradley Airport. The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, or DEEP, said that rain could have caused the emergence of the foam. DEEP have set up containment booms and have used vacuum trucks to clean up the area. They're advising the public to avoid contact and report foam if they see it.
Members from Connecticut's congressional delegation are traveling to Bridgeport to announce an award for a new federal grant to combat youth homelessness. U.S. Senators Chris Murphy, Richard Blumenthal, and Democratic U.S. Representative Jim Himes are planning to visit Housatonic Community College on Monday afternoon to discuss the grant being awarded to Opening Doors Fairfield County. The men will also be joined by local officials to discuss details about how to use the grant.
And if you've ever been interested in the world of television, STN is a great way to check it out. Whether you're interested in producing, advertising, engineering, reporting, photography, directing, graphic design, or sports, we have it all. Stop by our office in Gingras Room 120G and try it out. And coming up, macOS says goodbye tunes to iTunes.
And then a suspicious package is seen outside of the Supreme Court.
And finally, tensions are heated during Bolivian protests.
Who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Ma.
In your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who once took care of you.
And now back to the news on STN Channel 2.
If you have an idea for a story you'd like us to investigate, or an event we should cover, let us know. Send us an email to tips@stn2.tv. Keep up with us online by liking our Facebook page, STN Channel 2, and make sure to get all of your campus news updates by following at STN2 on Twitter.
iTunes has disappeared from considerable amounts of Macintosh computers as of Monday's Catalina update for Mac OS. The software's removal can be seen as a culmination of Apple's efforts to streamline their digital marketplace. It has brought the operating system more in line with iOS by replacing the multimedia storefront with more specialized apps like Apple Music, Apple TV, and podcasts. Items purchased on the old iTunes store have been carried over to the new programs.
Trump immigration officials claim that nearly 1 million migrants have been taken into custody along the U.S. southern border in 2019. The figure marks the highest number of arrests since 2007 due to the increase of Central American families. In September, 52,000 migrants were taken into custody alone, marking the fourth consecutive month of declines in arrests. President Donald Trump has made reducing illegal immigration his top priority of his re-election campaign.
By whether or not the civil rights law protects LGBT people from discrimination and employment. The court is to decide if the Civil Rights Act of 1964 covers LGBT people or not. When the law was initially made, it was not anticipated that sexual orientation or gender identity would be covered. And Justice Eleanor Kagan argues that sexual orientation is a subject of sex discrimination, while Chief Justice John Roberts questions how the employers with religious objections to hiring LGBT people will be affected. 4 liberal justices are likely to side with workers who are fired based on their sexual orientation or transgender status. A decision is expected by early summer 2020.
Police investigated 2 suspicious packages left near the Supreme Court this past Tuesday, closing off pedestrian walkways in front of the courts during the period of investigation. The discovery of these packages was made moments before the justices entered the building for deliberations regarding LGBT rights. D.C. police reported the threat is resolved by 10 a.m. that same day, although the contents of the bags are yet to be disclosed.
On Wednesday, former Vice President Joe Biden made his most direct call for President Trump's impeachment in a campaign speech after Trump stated that he would refuse to cooperate with the impeachment inquiry unless Democrats, quote, give us our rights, end quote. Trump targeted the still anonymous whistleblower by tweeting Wednesday morning that they should be properly exposed and questioned. White House counsel and Pat Cipollini called the investigation invalid in a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
He's targeted me and my family with lies and distortions and smears. And that's all they are. Because he thinks he will undermine my candidacy for the nomination as well as the presidency if I'm the nominee. He's just flat doing what he's always done, lying. And he's spending tens of millions of dollars this early in the campaign to engage in the Democratic primary, to spread lies. He's trying to orchestrate a campaign where truth and the facts are irrelevant. In Goebbels' terms, you say it long enough, often enough, people may believe it.
There will be more updates on the impeachment inquiry coming within the next few weeks.
2 individuals linked to Rudy Giuliani have been arrested on account of campaign finance violations. Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman are accused of donating $325,000 to a political action committee supporting the re-election of President Trump, and then falsifying records to the Federal Election Commission. In addition, they are thought to be directly involved in Giuliani's request for the Ukrainian government to investigate Joe Biden.
Over 1.5 million people joined in protest this past Friday in Bolivia due to outrage over government responses and wildfires in the country's forests. These fires have searched over 4 million hectares of land. Protesters demanded creations of laws to protect the environment and national forest reserves. Fortunately, on Monday, heavy rains have helped put out the forest fires, and according to local authorities, satellite images no longer detect burning or reactivated fires.
Toys R Us is coming back, and you can thank Target for it. This past Tuesday, Target announced that it will be partnering with Toys R Us's parent company in order to help relaunch the store's online presence. As of now, the new website is up, and all purchases made there will redirect you to the Target website. With this partnership, Toys R Us hopes to be able to begin opening stores once again, and they expect to have 10 new locations in the coming year.
There has been a halt in baby pajama shipments to Costco from the Trump administration. U.S. Customs and Border Protection blocked the import of infant clothes and blankets because they were manufactured by the company Heshin Tata. The Chinese company has been accused of using the labor of one of the million Muslims being detained and forced to abandon their political and religious practices. Officials at Costco denied knowing about the origin of their products, but are prepared to change their supplier. Well, Chad, and I know I definitely love buying pajamas and getting comfortable.
But I don't think we should get comfortable in our pajamas quite yet, because we still have sports.
That's right, Chad. You can't. We still have about 10 minutes left, and it's time for sports. So that's right, everyone. It's time for your favorite part of the show, and we have so much to talk about. So don't move a muscle, because sports is next.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb.
We're leaving.
But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
And now, STN Channel 2 Sports.
We have so much to talk about and digest as we had 3 U-Heart teams in action. The NFL season is in full stride and the MLB postseason kicking off. So let's get right into it. On the links, women's golf competed in the Yale Fall Intercollegiate. How did the Lady Hawks fare on the fairway? Let's take it to the boards. Junior Maria Loza was consistent throughout the 3-day tournament, turning in 3 straight respecting 6 over 76s to finish with a 228. Freshman Laura Young, who was Hartford's next finisher, ended her weekend with an even par 71 on Sunday for the Hawks' lowest round of the tournament. The ladies golfers finished 14th overall at the 3-day event. They conclude the fall season with the Sacred Heart Classic at Great River Golf Club in Milford, Connecticut. The two-day event begins on Sunday, October 20th. Moving on to women's soccer, the Lady Hawks take on conference rival Maine on the team's senior day. Will the Hawks be able to earn the win on this important day? Let's kick it onto the boards. And the Lady Hawks did pull out the win by a score of 2-1. The Lady Black Bears took an early lead, but the Lady Hawks were able to score 2 goals before and after halftime to take it away. Izzy Lakic took 2 goals and one goal as well as 1 shot on goal. And Sierra Stone had 1 shot and 2 assists. For the Lady Black Bears, Sailor Clark had 1 shot, which was the team's only goal, while Nicole Bailey had a shot on goal, and an assist. Kicking it on over to men's soccer as they hope to extend an 8-game unbeaten streak as they host St. Joseph Hawks. Over to the boards. And the Hawks end up drawing dead even with St. Joseph's and now have tied in 3 state games and extend their unbeaten streak to 9. And what a thrilling game it was as the Hawks scored 2 second-half goals in order to draw even with the Red Hawks after falling behind 1-0 and then also 2-1 in the second half. However, in the 89th minute, when all hope looked lost for Hartford, Nick Benjamin would end up getting his foot into a corner kick and would send the game into overtime. It was a very hectic overtime for the two teams, with many saves by each side, but nobody could pull out the dub. Hartford travels to Stony Brook to take on the Seawolves tonight at 7. And it's apparent that Nick Bosa hasn't forgotten 2018 after Bosa sacked Browns QB Baker Mayfield at the end of the first half on Monday night's contest. Bosa and company planted an imaginary flag in the Browns' backfield. But what's the catch, you ask? Back in 2018, while Mayfield was playing for Oklahoma and Bosa was for Ohio State, Mayfield planted the Sooner flags directly in the center of the Ohio State logo in front of a crowd of over 100,000 people after Oklahoma upset the Buckeyes 31-16. Bosa and Mayfield met again on Monday Night Football. However, this time it was Bosa's Niners who took the dub by a score of 31-3 to remain unbeaten. Quote, "If the key still works on Monday, I'm going to keep working." Well, on Monday, that key in fact did not work. Following Sunday's loss to the hands of the Patriots, the Washington Redskins fired their head coach, Jay Gruden. Gruden and the Redskins have started off the year 0-5 in a year that they hoped would be competitive with taking QB Dwayne Haskins in the first round of this year's draft. But following Haskins' slow development, star lineman Trent Williams holding out, and just flat-out mediocre play by the team, the front office felt they needed to make a change. Gruden was 35-41-1 in his 6 seasons as head coach. Offensive line coach Bill Callahan has taken over head coaching duties for the team until further notice. And some good news for former Bears kicker Cody Parkey, as he has signed a 1-year, $805,000 contract with the Tennessee Titans. Parkey got released from the Bears last year after he missed a field goal in the NFC wildcard game that would have advanced the Bears to the NFC divisional round for the first time since 2010. He was then released by the team and has been waiting since, and now the Titans came around after releasing kicker Cairo Santos this past week. Parkey and the Titans now look ahead to Sunday as they take on the Denver Broncos. As the MLB playoffs continue on, we have found ourselves having an early clincher as the Yankees were able to sweep the Twins and doing so pretty easily, having big leads in each game. This was expected to be a big matchup as both teams won over 100 games this regular season, but the dominant Twins were outmatched by the pitching of the Yankees and their remarkable hitting. The Yankees move on to face the Houston Astros in the ALCS as a rematch from 2017. In some NBA news, China will not be broadcasting or streaming NBA preseason games held in the country. Houston Rockets GM Daryl Morey showed his support for demonstrations in Hong Kong. Morey tweeted, quote, "Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong," end quote. The statement made by Morey has led to many Chinese businesses cutting their ties with the Rockets. NBA chief Adam Silver told Kododo News he's read some of the media suggesting that the NBA is not supporting Daryl Morey, but in fact they are. He thinks, as a value-based organization, that he wants to make it clear that Daryl Morey is supported in terms of his ability to exercise his freedom of expression. Let's travel back in time to 1976, where on this day, the New York Football Giants Stadium opened in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Big Blue lost to the Dallas Cowboys 24-14 in front of 76,042 fans. The name has since been changed to MetLife Stadium. As for upcoming games, we have men's soccer playing tonight at the Zook against Stony Brook at 7 p.m. Women's volleyball also at 7 p.m. versus UMBC. For Saturday, cross country is competing in the New England Championships. As for Sunday, volleyball takes on UAlbany at 5 p.m. As always, you can catch all of your live updates on ESPN3 or www.hartfordharks.com.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff going on.
Yeah, plenty of sports to keep you entertained for the weekend. Not as many as last week, but we still got stuff happening, and it'll be good because, October's coming up next weekend.
And we also have First Flight on Friday, which involves the men's and women's basketball teams. So that's obviously a big event that happens at the end of October week, along with a lot of other fun events throughout the week, like the bonfire.
Yeah, I love the bonfire.
Yeah, and what is the weather going to be like on
I'm not sure
Thursday?
about next Thursday. I think it's going to be around like 60 degrees, so it's going to be might be a little bit colder than that.
Yeah, probably
but
at night.
The fire will keep you warm.
Exactly. Definitely wear a sweatshirt or something.
Yeah, when you stand in front of the giant fire, it's going to keep you pretty warm.
Oh, and tonight there's actually going to be a laser tag event on the village lawn. It'll be running from 10 to 12. I'm not entirely sure on all the details.
Yeah, it seems like that's pretty cool. I don't know how they're going to do that. I mean, I'm very curious to see, so I might go check it out.
I'm definitely going to stop by.
Yeah.
Well, if you go, wear a jacket because it's going to be about 50 degrees tonight.
Yeah, and hopefully it doesn't rain, otherwise it's going to be muddy, and that's just not going to be fun.
Yeah.
Also, we have a new show that we'll be broadcasting on our channel called Filmmaker's Basement. 2 cinema students here at the University of Hartford will be critiquing movies. So that will be airing after the show Campus Cooking. That is also broadcasted on a station. So that's something to look forward to.
And actually for next week with October, our show is actually going to be on Saturday, not Friday, with alumni.
Yes, alumni will be anchoring. There will be no show on Friday. We will have alumni here. 4 will be anchoring, and then we'll have a lot of company to watch our newscast. All right, thank you for tuning in. I'm Arceline DeAngelis.
And I'm Chad Charette.
Have a good night.
And one for the chef. What the fuck?
Hi, I'm Chef Quentin Gavin. You may know me for my roles in Quentin, A Life in Motion, Prankster, and Roommates. I've learned about cooking and food from sets all across the globe. I'm the connoisseur of cuisine, king of the cook, the monarch of meats, and I'm here to teach you how to make really cheap food here in college. I'm Willy Wonka, and this is my chocolate factory. Here's your golden ticket, scumbag. Today we'll be talking about eggs. Join me, won't you? First, I'll show you how to make some egg salad. Eggs, mayonnaise, mustard, scallions, paprika, salt, pepper. So first you boil your eggs. Make sure not to overboil them, so you want to boil them for around 10 minutes. After taking them out of the pan, you want to peel them. Sometimes it can be hard to pull it off, but sure you can figure out your own technique. I call this the Chef Quentin Gavin special. This footage was not sped up. Look at me go. Damn. Now you want to cut your eggs. Probably shouldn't cut them as crudely as me. Next you want to cut your scallions. Cut about 1/4 of a cup of green onion, or scallions, as I like to call them. Next you want to add about a teaspoon of mustard. Make sure not to miss like I did. And about a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. Really just get it in there. And don't forget to season. And mix really well to get the perfect consistency. Now it's time to try the egg salad. Kind of tastes like a sadder potato salad. But it's pretty good. You know, when I was signing on to this cooking show, I thought I'd be making some real food, but now I'm just making this egg stuff. Rosie, I'm not making something like, I don't know, like some really good steak. It gets better the more you eat it, I think. Now it's time to make some quiche. Eggs, heavy cream, bacon, pie crust, cheese, salt, pepper, and spinach. Measure 1.5 cups of shredded cheese. Measure 1.5 cups of heavy cream. I like to pour it into a separate container. Then you're going to want to chop some spinach. Next you want to beat 6 large eggs in a bowl. While doing all these steps, you should be cooking about 1 pound of bacon. Make sure they're fully cooked. Make sure it's nice and crispy. Don't forget to get rid of all the grease. Yuck. Then after that you want to shred the bacon. Now that all that's done, you want to blend all your eggs and the heavy cream in a blender. You want to blend until you get about a yellowish color. After that you want to kind of layer out your quiche. Like lasagna almost, but a quiche. Then after that, add the egg and heavy cream mix into the quiche. This is kind of a messy part, so be careful. Set your oven to 375 degrees. Put that bad boy in for about 45 minutes. And once it's done, take your beautiful creation out. I'm Chef Quentin Gavin. I'm here to try this quiche. This monstrosity. Oh yeah, that looks like quiche, kinda. There we go. Oh, that looks like quiche on the inside. I don't feel like the worst chef ever, honestly. Alright. Thumbs up. Not bad. I'm proud of this quiche. I don't hate it at all. I don't know who my grandmother thinks she is, but this is the quiche to eat. Yeah. What do you mean, dude? My grandmother makes a lot of quiche.
Oh, alright.
Here we're going to make sunny side up eggs. Egg. Pam. It's a very easy egg to cook. Just spray the Pam on your pan and just kind of wait for it to cook. Look at me go. Wow. Think about it. You guys can do this at your house. Wow. Sir?
Looks great.
Thank
you. Do you have anything else to go with this? Alright, I was thinking more of like a slice of bread.
Not going to appreciate what I put in front of you. If you want something, I'll give you something. No, you want some bread? You can have some like crappy tomato basil bread. Come on, just get dip it in the oven. There you go. Shoot. How was it?
It was delicious.
Hey! Woo! I'm gonna show you how to make an omelet. Eggs, ham, really any leftovers. Salt, pepper, Pam. Whisk it. Chop up whatever the hell you got. So today we're going to make some omelets, and I think the only real proper way to make an omelet is to flip it. I'm not very good at flipping it. In fact, I don't really know how. So, me and you are going to learn something together today. I'm going to do it the Commons way. Overload it with oil.
Egg flip 1. Attempt number 2.
Attempt number 3. Oh! Attempt number whatever. And help you. And help you. Go! That's basically it! Since we're doing the Commons way, you want to load it up with oil, then put on whatever you got, and then you gotta let it cook a little bit, heat it up real nice. Pour in your whisked egg, cook one side of it, really take your time, you really want to perfect the omelet. Then you flip it perfectly. Throw some cheese on there. You know, more or less, as much as you want. Then you fold the omelet over itself and you pat it down. We're here with the omelet. You know, might not be as pretty as those common omelets, but hey. I gotta say the ham we chose is pretty good. It's all only condiments. It's not that hard to make the egg, but everything that goes in it, that's what's important. I don't know what I did wrong in the world, really. I'm just trying to host a cooking show, and I'm stuck here eating this omelet. No, I just don't really understand. Like, am I just supposed to make food for the rest of my life now and not get paid? And I don't know. It's really not that bad of an omelet, actually. After the break, I'll be teaching you how to make over-easy eggs.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Now we're gonna make over-easy eggs. Egg Pam. This one's the same as sunny side up, just this time you kind of flip it. Make sure you use a spatula though so you don't break it. Definitely don't want to break the yolk, because that'd be a mistake. Ah, Rosas again. Listen, bud, I got you a over-easy egg this time.
Ooh, sounds good.
It's not perfect, but I think it's exactly what you need.
Alright, taste is king after all. Actually, before I eat, could I have no slice of bread? Because last time I really did not work well. Are you sure? I mean, pretty sure I saw some over there.
No, we don't have any more bread, okay? So why don't you just eat the egg?
Well, I will, but I'm just saying that the bread really added to it.
Listen! That's how I cook the egg! That's how you're gonna eat the egg! Alright? I don't get it! I make these goddamn foods, I'm trying the last one, take the food from me and don't even eat it how I prep it. Well, I don't understand. What do you want? You want some bread? You want some... I'll have it!
I'll take the one that's not in your mouth.
Yeah! Use the bread! Damn it!
Pretty good. Thanks, man. Good, though.
Yeah, really, thanks a lot.
Really salt.
You want salt? I'm gonna show you how to make my favorite Eggs Benedict. Eggs, lemon juice, salt, butter, red pepper, more eggs, English muffin, Canadian bacon, vinegar, butter, First you want to melt 10 teaspoons of butter in a saucepan. Make sure the heat's extra low, almost off. After that you want to make sure you get only the yolk out of the eggs. That means you have to get rid of all the egg white. To do this, I crack the eggs in half and kind of like jimmy it back and forth to get rid of all the egg white. Next, add a tablespoon of lemon juice. Next, you want to get about a half teaspoon of salt using a salt grinder. However, realize you're an idiot and then get some actually pre-grinded salt and pour it in there. Then add a dash of cayenne. Add the mixture to a blender and blend away. Once everything's been kind of mixed up, then you want to slowly pour in your butter as it's still blending. Keep blending until you get this lightish color. Then taste it to realize it tastes like butter. Then add some more flavoring to it. And then keep on blending. Now you have a sad excuse for hollandaise. Put your hollandaise sauce in a small saucepan. Set the heat down to really low so then it doesn't overcook. Take your 4 pieces of Canadian bacon and throw them on a pan. Cook them until browned. Now Google the difference between simmering and boiling. The difference is simmering is more of a smiling water. However, boiling is more of a laughing. If you need to figure out the exact difference, I guess kind of just Google it online or something. After that, you want to poach your egg. You want to put 1 egg in at a time and let the outside cook before you put the next one in. While the eggs are poaching, you want to butter your English muffins and then set them on a pan. Then you have to build your eggs Benedict. Place down the English muffin, then a piece of Canadian bacon, then your poached eggs. And then layer it with hollandaise sauce. Well, after a long time trying to make this Eggs Benedict, literally my favorite type of eggs, I failed again. Is it? Oh yeah, it's cooked all. Damn it! Cheers. What do you think? That's great. What? Next, raw egg. Egg cup. For this one, you take the egg, you crack it in half, and you put it in a cup.
Not a genius, oh man. God bless. Just did it. That was pretty good.
Hey!
Oh no, it wasn't. That was not good.
Excuse me, sir?
I mean, my compliments to the chef.
Rock and roll.
Bag of corn, cracked corn, a 50-pound bag of layer pellets.
Hi, I'm Chef Quentin Gavin, and I'm here today with
Patty McClay.
Hi, Patty McClay. You guys had this chicken coop for a while now. When did you guys first build it?
Oh, we built it probably about 12 years ago, 15 years ago.
Is there a reason behind it?
For the eggs and the pets. We like the chickens. We've had chickens before, and so when we moved here, we thought we'd like to have chickens again.
So you guys had this for a while now. How does it cost anything to really keep it running, or not at all?
No, yeah, you have to pay for the food. It's about, I buy a 50-pound bag of corn, cracked corn, a 50-pound bag of layer pellets. Probably every other week. It's about $28-30 for the 2 of them.
Do you guys usually break even, or?
Yeah, actually, we were breaking even or doing better, but in the winter they don't lay as well, so you kind of don't break even in the winter. So it just depends on the type of chickens you have. If you have chickens that lay really well every day, then, and you also, if you have customers, you have to have customers too to buy the eggs.
Do you sell them locally, I'm guessing?
Yeah, we sell them locally or to coworkers, family. You know, sometimes we donate them, give them to families that need them. So.
What do you guys do with your fertilized eggs? Do you just get rid of them?
Well, we try to hatch the fertilized eggs.
How successful are you usually?
We've been successful, right?
Yeah?
Yeah, I've had several baby chicks that, in fact, one of the tiniest chicken that you see here is one of the ones we've hatched.
How many eggs do you usually get per chicken?
1 a day.
1 a day?
Yeah.
I didn't even know they laid them that often.
Yeah, some chickens lay maybe 2 a week. Just depends on the breed of the chicken.
Because I heard that you guys had problems with predators. What do you usually do?
Well, when we first built it, for the longest time, we didn't have a top on the fenced-in area here that you see, and we had no trouble. I mean, it must have been probably 7-8 years that we really had no trouble. But then once either the coyote or the raccoons found out about it, then we had to put fully fenced in, and basically we just, make sure that there's no digging around the bottom of the fence and keep them kept up at night. We normally let them free range during the day. But, I mean, you're going to lose chickens. If you have chickens, you have to realize that, you know, you're going to lose chickens. So.
What do you do with, like, your older chickens? Do you just try to sell them, or do you, like, kill them?
No, we don't kill them for meat or anything like that. They just die. We just have them until they die. Unfortunately, lately we've had a big turnover because of coyotes and raccoons, and we had a possum earlier this spring. So. Yeah,
coyotes are, like, I never realized how, like, they're just kind of everywhere. I live in Albany, like, right outside of the city, and there's, like, coyotes outside.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, are you guys allowed to, like, hunt out here or not at all?
I don't know. I don't think so. Although I do hear there's a hunting club over here. I think they hunt on Sundays.
Now, do you guys have, like, a diet of eggs around here? Just eat eggs all the time?
You know, it's funny. We really don't eat that many eggs.
No?
No. When we were younger, when the kids were younger, we would eat hard-boiled eggs. But no, unfortunately, we don't eat a lot of eggs. Maybe every Sunday we'll have eggs, and Saturday we'll have pancakes, but that's about it.
How many different kinds of eggs have you made?
Hard-boiled, quiches, scrambled, easy over. You use them a lot in cooking.
Do you have, like, a fridge full of eggs in there?
Probably. If you go in there and look, we probably have several dozen in there, yeah.
Does your eggs taste any different from, like, a normal one you'd buy at the store? Or?
Oh, significantly different. Oh, so much different. And when we first got the chickens here, and, you know, we had been eating regular store-bought eggs for a couple years. What a difference. I could not believe the difference. It was just amazing. And then everybody that, you know, is a new customer, they come back to me too. So I'll give them a dozen eggs. I'll say, here, just try it. You know, if you don't want to buy them, that's fine, but just try it. And they come back and they're like, oh, definitely. They are so good.
You said that you had a funny story about Tyler.
Oh, yes. Well, it was cute, actually. So when we first got chickens, my children were pretty young, and we'd get the baby chicks every spring. We'd get baby chicks, and they're awesome. And so they would carry them on their shoulders and stuff like that. But then, of course, the chickens would grow up and they'd start laying eggs. And so the kids would put the chickens in the wagon with the eggs, and they'd walk down the street selling eggs to the neighbors. And they'd have the chicken right there that laid the eggs, and it was all the neighbors just loved it because, you know, they had the chicken that actually laid the eggs that they're eating, and so they would go and they would sell the eggs on a weekly basis up and down the street. It was really cute.
Do they ever have like an egg sale instead of like a lemonade sale?
Yes.
In the front lawn?
Yeah.
This is a very serious question. Can chickens fly?
Can chickens fly? No. Maybe, kind of. They can fly from the perch to the ground.
So that they're more of like a descending kind of glide.
Yes, well, they can fly from the ground to the perch too, though.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
That's a very good question. In our house, it was the chicken.
Do you name your chickens at all?
Yes, we do.
All of them?
Yes, usually. I know the little one that's mine that I hatched, her name is Cheeks, because she's got like big cheeks. My daughter would usually name them, and so it was quite a deal. I mean, sometimes, you know, we'd had, like my son said, we sometimes had 17 chickens, so you have to remember all these names. So I would write down the names to try to remember, but yeah, we've kind of, this past year we were really bad. We haven't really kept up with the names.
Can you name one after Chef Quentin Gavin?
Oh, we could.
Oh,
we
that'd
could.
be great. Did you know eggs don't come from roosters because they're male? Neat, am I right?
I'll be right back.
Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire. And that could be scary.
Ah, Smokey!
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. That interview was fun. Now it's time to go on to our guerrilla cooking segment. I'm Chef Quinn Gavin. I'm here at an undisclosed location for our guerrilla cooking segment. No swearing, please! Hello, are you guys ready for some guerrilla cooking? Aren't you hungry?
Get in there.
Aaron! What are you wearing?
One second. I'm actually Chef Quinn Gavin. I'm here to cook you guys some omelets.
No thanks. Oh no.
For our guerrilla cooking segment.
Why are you wearing leaves?
It's a ghillie suit.
Did you know about this? Tyler?
Don't look at me. I hope you guys are ready. It's a pretty crappy kitchen, but we'll make it do. See what they got in the fridge? Ah, just as I thought. Literally nothing. This will do. You guys ever been to the Commons and had like one of those really omelets? I'd say this is about like a step and a half above that at least.
Spray?
Don't worry, I always come prepared. My Dayquil oil. You guys got a cutting board? I don't know if you guys want some ham on your omelets.
No.
What?
No.
I'm gonna put some ham in there anyway.
It smells like burnt.
Yep, that means we're good. There we go. Really make some thick cuts. When you're cooking guerrilla style, everything smells burnt. There we go. Really get it oiled up. Yeah, do we like even have any sponsors yet or anything?
Ourselves.
Thank you. This is called the pork whisking technique. Please observe. This ham's getting a little unwieldy, so we're gonna go ahead and put some egg on it.
Oil did you put on that?
More than enough. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah.
I just cleaned the kitchen. I just washed that towel and you just put raw egg pork on there.
It's time for you to learn how to
I want to Aaron distribute.
Aaron, come here. It's really easy and
I'm
simple.
not doing this.
Yeah, you got it.
No, I'm not doing it.
Aaron! It's guerrilla cooking!
I don't care. I can't do that.
You're gonna make me do it?
Yeah.
That's a damn mistake.
I get it exactly.
Oh, see what I'm talking about? No, I only made it halfway. There we go. Yeah. Are we making omelets or are we screwing around? Are you ready? You're on guerrilla cooking. Hannah flips the next thing.
Oh, this is gonna be a lot.
Go, flip it. Jesus Christ! Oh, wow! See, you had it in you. Do you guys have cheese here by any chance? Nah, never mind. I came prepared with a little cheese. Always come prepared to your guerrilla cooking segments. You know what I mean? Oh, there we go. That's gonna be a nice omelet. Oh, there's an omelet. There's an omelet and a half. Are you guys ready to try your omelet? Now we're going to try the omelet. Here on the guerrilla cooking segment.
It looks fine.
Oh, you're just going for the egg, no ham. Yeah, get some cheese and ham in there. There you go.
Please don't stare at me. You got some cheese.
How is it?
Pretty good.
Whoa! Pretty good! I'll take it! Aaron, please.
It's actually pretty good. It's a little hot though.
Don't look at me. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty bad. No, I'm kidding. It's really good.
Oh yes!
That's a good omelet. That's actually really good.
See, I think cooking was kind of a success, so I think we can leave now.
Did you turn the thing off?
No.
Stove top? No, I don't think you did. There you go.
Yeah, I just kind of cut to that.
Yeah, I know how.
Do you know eggs are unfertilized? Because they'd be gross otherwise.
Sweetheart, think about your future. Jeff over there did, and just look at him. He saved up, bought a house, he's got a beautiful wife, they even had a fancy pants destination wedding, and they had a baby! Ah! Smart and handsome, ooh la la. Now, I've been saving these frames for pictures of my future grandbabies for years, and the shopping sprees on organic clothing and telephone cases is not helping you save for a family. Oh, gracious! Look at that! He's a model! Oh. I bet you he's putting all that money right into a 401k or his baby's college fund. And his teeth are so straight. See how good saving can look at feedthepig.org. Feed the pig.
Guys, it's been one hell of an episode. And you know what? I'm happy we made it through it. Cooking eggs been tough. There's ups and downs. See, she really likes it. She's
I'm really good. I also didn't have dinner, so I'm hungry. How do you eat the rest of this?
Yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot about cooking. I'm sure they did. At least a little bit. No answer is the best answer. We'll see you next time on Campus Cooking.
Joint weight of mind, state, and body. And leave this final will and testament to those watching. If I die, all my things will be buried with me. No one gets my stuff, got it? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Alright, Jake's going in the eggs. I just wanted to visit you. Alright, so Jake, do you want us to kill you first and then put you on the table, or do you just want to stand on the table? I'm so sorry.
His business is private.
Whoever's the most dangerous and daring.
I'd say this one.
Family don't got a clue, no.
Hi, welcome to the Filmmaker's Basement, a weekly show about film news and film reviews. I'm Brandon Gasparino.
And I'm Edward Webb.
And this week we're going to start off with a review of the movie Joker. So Joaquin Phoenix plays Arthur Fleck, a mentally unwell man in his 30s who struggles to provide for himself and his sick mother as a clown for hire. Things start to look up for him as he pursues a career in comedy and a meaningful relationship. However, this all begins to fall apart after he finds out both himself and the world around him wasn't what he thought it was. So, I'm going to start this off by saying I really love this movie. However, I will say that it started out very slow. It took a very long time to kick up. I would almost say like the first 45 to 50 minutes of the movie was just like, it just felt like it wasn't really going anywhere. We kept doing the same things over and over again. Arthur keeps getting beat up by the people around him. The world's kind of like down on Arthur. Nothing's going right for him. And like things in the plot aren't adding up. Like it all seemed very weird to me until we got towards the middle of the movie and there was kind of a reveal of some kind of information. It's like almost like a thread that leads to more and more info. And I think from that point on, it starts to get really good. Like we're getting exactly what I came at least to see the movie for, which is to watch a man become the Joker. Arthur Fleck who, he's not normal, but like he's not a psychotic crazy person. From him to go from that to I'm the Joker now, and I'm going to go insane and kill a bunch of people. And I think that is a very interesting transformation to watch. And once I got to that part of the film, I was completely on board with it. I thought it worked really well after that, everything kind of unraveling around him. I mean, everything about them, it looked like a really good movie. Like the cinematography was very on point, the score was really good. For me, at least, it really kind of all added up together. I will say one of my kind of problems with the movie, and this is coming towards the end of the film, we get another Batman origin story, and I don't think I need another Batman origin story in this. I actually felt like it kind of detracted from the overall film itself, because it's not about Batman. It's about the Joker. It's about Arthur Fleck kind of losing it all and becoming this absolute crazy icon that we all know and, to a degree, love. So, I mean, besides that, I will say that I was a little upset with, like, the controversy around this film about how, like, a group of people were going to come in and try to repeat the Aurora shootings and all that stuff. I wasn't a particular fan of that, and I feel like that's a different topic, but what did you think?
It's very sad. It's just tragic, especially for us film lovers, but just people in general. The theater should be a place where you just go, lay back, forget things, and just be engrossed by this film. You shouldn't have to look over your shoulder every second.
Yeah.
Or be ready to run as you see somebody walk into a theater.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
even
just
though
very unfortunate.
Yeah. And even though I didn't feel like that, I knew that wasn't going to happen, but even going to those theaters, I felt like this could be me. This could be something that happens to me. And it's just not great. However, besides that, I would definitely recommend seeing this movie. I thought it was, once you get past like the very slow start of the film, I would say it's totally worth it. It's a wild ride from that point on until the absolute ending of the film.
Would you recommend it?
I would recommend it to like, if you're going to see a movie by yourself, or if you're going to see a movie with like a group of people who are like all about film and stuff, watch that movie. Don't bring your children to see this movie. Don't go to this movie on a date. Both things happened to me in the theater I went to. I had a couple sitting next to me. I think this was like a first date or something. And I had a family in front of me with 2 3-year-olds. Don't do that. You're being a bad parent if you bring your kids to see this movie, because it is hardcore. There are certain parts
brought
of
me
it.
to stuff like this all the time. I turned out fine.
I've been through some rough stuff. You do not. I was a little fazed by some of the stuff that happened in this film. So do not bring your kids to see this movie. Speaking of movies that are acceptable for kids to see, Eddie, you saw Rashomon this weekend.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Information on hot water heating.
No. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out the words.
World music, playing track now.
No.
Let me try. Our daughter gets confused about which details in a story are important.
Which paper towels are most absorbent? What? Here are 5 product reviews.
Why are you not getting me?
See, I told you.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
I never heard Rashomon be considered a film that's acceptable for children. But yes, I unfortunately wasn't able to see Joker this week, so I decided to go a little further back in the film, and I saw Rashomon. Rashomon tells the story of a assault on a bride and the murder of her husband, as is retold by all parties involved, including the murderer, the bride herself, and the ghost of her samurai husband, as well as a woodcutter who wasn't really there. But it's nice to just have people chime in on what they think happened. So I've been meaning to plunge into Kurosawa's filmography for a very long time before this. I've seen two of his films prior, and this is the first one where I feel like I really got why Kurosawa is considered to be, a master of this art form. I wasn't the biggest fan of it when I first saw it, but as I slept on it and thought about it, I loved it. Every reason why I didn't like it is why I love it now. The reason why I didn't like it was it felt very messy and sloppy until I realized that that's what was supposed to happen. The film is told in 4 different accounts of the same event. Everybody chimes in on different things that they remember happening. And I just felt that was sloppiness, when really it's just very calculated, because that's how these things are. It's sort of like a game of telephone where you hear one story from one person, by the time it gets to the last person, it's nothing that originally happened. So yes, I would definitely recommend this film, especially for the film buffs out there who want to go back and actually learn more about the art form that we all love.
Yeah, actually, I had read the original source material for Rashomon a couple of years back for a class or whatever, and it's interesting how well Akira Kurosawa's version of it holds up to the actual original source material. He did a really good job of taking the best elements of that medium, and translating that into film, which I think is the uncertainty of everything that's happening. We get a visual representation of each person's account. And I almost think that makes it harder for you to figure out who's telling the truth in this situation, because these all seem like they could have happened. I'm literally getting a visualization of everything that's going on in front of me.
That's the frustrating part of it, because you're expecting to find the actual answer and you never do.
And that's kind of what it's about. There is, if you're going based off of eyewitnesses' accounts, you're really not going to get the full story unless you were there. And even then, that's your own truth. That's all you're going to find out about this. And I think it does a really good job of that. Giving you that exact possible message. Speaking of good messages in film, Eddie, you had a story about Diane Carroll this week, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, sadly I had the job of breaking the news that Diane Carroll has passed away. Diane Carroll was a Academy Award nominated actress for her film Claudine in 1968, as well as being the first black woman to win a Tony Award for her performance in No Strings, the Broadway play. But a lot of people remember her as the first black woman to star in a TV series where she does not play a stereotypical role. For a while, minorities weren't necessarily cast in roles that weren't servants or, welfare, or people that relied on welfare. But her role as Julia Baker in Julia showed her as a very strong, independent mother who works as a nurse trying to provide for her son. And a lot of people haven't seen that before. She was actually nominated for a Golden Globe for her performance. And it showed that we could play more than just these one-dimensional characters, even though some people such as Hattie McDaniels even won an Academy Award for playing that in Gone with the Wind. It showed that we are capable and our stories do deserve to be told. And I just thought this was a very timely story, not only because she sadly passed away, but also as the argument for diversity in film and television still rages on today.
Yeah, I should actually be kind of upfront about this. I didn't really know who she was before we started doing the story. I think that kind of speaks to part of the problem of this, is that people don't know who these trailblazers are. There was a story I was reading actually this weekend. I don't remember the guy's name, unfortunately. It was a famous newscaster or something like that. And basically, he was the first openly gay news person in any kind of media or anything like that. He had basically a really rough time with that, because that is a lot to handle in the late 70s and 80s. But nobody remembers him today. Nobody remembers who he was, what he did, anything like that. And I think that's kind of the problem with representation nowadays. We don't know who the trailblazers are for all this stuff.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's sort of like we're missing out on a part of history. Without we definitely had to find out the name of that man, but without him, we don't have an Anderson Cooper who was able to flourish in that spot.
Exactly. It's just important to have these